So we actually went from 4 kids to 11 kids overnight. We had 4 biological children. I felt like I had a handle on things.
I was teaching seminary full time. I was bishop of our ward. We were involved in humanitarian work in Ethiopia, and the door opened up for us to adopt children.
It was called a high-risk children's center. My dad had started a family foundation.
And said, I'm adopting some kids from this orphanage, but there's one more teenage girl that I'm wondering if you guys would take. And my wife had this idea of, there's kind of a gap between our last 2 kids. She goes, what if we get a little one, like a little girl, and she could be buddies with our youngest daughter, and we'll adopt 2.
Then we said, is there someone who's under 5 that we could maybe match with our youngest?
Oh, they emailed back so fast. They yes, we do. But she's got 2 brothers. I remember thinking the vehicle, Mike, there's a vehicle that fits 8 kids, we have enough space in bedrooms and we have enough space in bathrooms. I think we can make this work. I knew it was gonna be tough, but I was optimistic.
And so then I get this email with this picture, and there's 6 kids in the picture. And I'm like, okay, I see the little girl and I see the brothers, and then there's these 3 other older siblings. And they said, they are their older siblings, but they're from a different dad and they're not adoptable.
My wife, she goes, we got to get those kids here to America. And I was like, okay,
A few months into the adoption process, I get a call from my dad, who's over there working on the adoption, and he says, hey, the older kids are adoptable, and unless they get adopted with their younger siblings, they will not be able to be adopted by anyone else.
But I'll never forget, we're standing in the kitchen one day, and my wife looks at me and goes, what if we took all 7?
And he was mad.
I'm like, are you crazy? What are you talking about? You know how much that costs? We don't have a car. How do we do that? We don't have bedrooms, bathrooms. No way. There's no way we could do that. I just listed reason after reason after reason. Got this part. Kind of a miracle happened that night, because I call it heart surgery. I think the Lord pulled my heart out and massaged it and made it really soft, because when I woke up, I felt completely different. Drastically different about this whole situation.
Nothing in my adult life has felt more certain and more sure and more clarity from the Lord that those kids were my kids.
I guess we're adopting 7 kids.